In the last 3 years of my life, I've managed to infiltrate and live together with people from all the major religions of the world. From small Buddhist villages in the high Himalayan mountains, all the way to South America, where witchcraft and mummified animals are somehow part of their Christian beliefs. From chaotic animal temples of India to Medina, one of the holiest sites in Islamic faith. This journey has literally changed me as a man, and in this video I want to offer you the condensed version of all the biggest lessons that I learned. Starting with unique customs that make our planet even more diverse and beautiful than you could have ever imagined. And finishing with answers to some of the largest questions that have been tormenting humanity for centuries. But for everything to come together, I need to start this video from the very beginning. I'm Joe, and about 29.5 years from today, I was born as a second son to a family in a small country called Estonia. Well, I said we'll start in the very beginning, right? But trust me, in about 25 seconds, it will all make sense. Really? So right before I was born, for about 5 decades, Estonia was occupied and ruled by the Soviet Union. But you probably didn't know that it was a Soviet policy to eliminate all religions within its borders. According to Wikipedia, Estonia is among the least religious countries in the world. So my granny is an atheist, my parents are atheists, and surprise surprise, so am I. And honestly, I've never seen it as a problem. Yet why I needed to share this information is this. In just one week, we will start driving from Europe to Japan. So a couple of years ago, when me and my partner Liisu decided to leave our homes behind, it wasn't actually our main goal to learn about distant religions. Or to put it more bluntly, we just wanted to see the world and didn't give a rat's ass about any god, gods, or even spirituality. Yet this was soon about to change. Our road headed east. We left the familiarity and safety of Europe behind and soon found ourselves in a rather scary and unknown world, because what waited us there was called Islam. This new culture came to us as a shock. I wanted to grab Liisu's hand. Usually when we walk on the street we hold hands. But then I remembered that public affection in Iran is not okay. So... You see, although both me and Liisu had traveled a lot before this moment, but we had mostly done it in the so-called Western countries. Yet when it came to Islam, most of what we knew about this religion came from the Western news.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for
the capture of Mosul in June 2014.
Iraq's second largest city is under the control of Islamic militants.
Yeah, this is clearly where our fear originated from. But as weeks turned into months, or as a kind commenter Teo said, a full month in a foreign country? That's not traveling, that's immigration. And so slowly, we started getting used to the life here. Yes, there were clearly customs that were hard to understand. But at the same time, certain things here were much better than back home. The locals just asked us for a cup of tea. We can't communicate in any language. We don't know any common languages, but it's just body language and kindness. For example, the societies here seem much less money-orientated.
Abi, kaç lira? Kaç lira diyor? Para versin mi diyorsan? No money, no. It's gift for you.
He didn't accept our money. I don't know how is it possible. Look at that. Once again, they do not accept our money.
Vikings.
And the kindness from total strangers is like nothing we have ever seen before. We drove on the wrong road and a local gentleman was just helping us turn around, and now he asked us for a cup of tea. The whole area has come either on one side of the door or the other side of the door to have a look at us. It was an amazing feeling to see our negative prejudice toward Muslims totally changed by the hospitality of locals. Yet as our curiosity grew, I have to admit that I'm not really proud of certain things that I did. In pursuit of information, I often danced on the line of my own morals and beliefs. I talked like a politician.
You are new to Islam? How many years?
We're still learning about Islam. We haven't fully committed to it yet. So
Yes, you're just learning,
Yes.
visiting.
Yeah,
Are you
well-
fasting?
yes.
And when it came to safety, I even crossed that line and straight up lied. You see, we are not married, but in certain countries it is against the law to be a couple without official marriage. And so, over the past month in Iran, we have told everyone that we are, because we are really scared. Like, we go like this, wife. It of course did not feel good to lie, but we also realized that it was a price we had to pay if we wanted to visit such different and inaccessible countries. We spent nearly a year discovering various parts of the Islamic world, and after this, one thing was clear. It didn't really matter if we were in Saudi Arabia, Iran or Pakistan, because whenever we asked local people about their faith, they all described Islam as a religion of peace and love. But wait, if you're anything like us, you might now be thinking that isn't Christianity supposed to be the faith of peace and love? And if so, then why in a world have two peaceful religions been at war with each other for the big part of the last 1,000 years? It all just sounded strange. These questions haunted us. And so almost overnight, these two blissful atheists became deeply fascinated with religion. We needed to know more, and once again headed east. Until we reached one of the strictest borders on earth. That's the famous gate. This wall separates India from Pakistan. And more than just countries, it also divides two religions. But once we were able to cross, the funniest thing happened. I can't believe my eyes, that's the first day in India. You see, on Pakistani side, women were the ones that covered their heads. Yet in Punjabi state of India, it's the men who hide their hair. I've gotten away with it for many countries, but seems like here I also have to cover up my hair.
Oh, how the tables have turned and Liisu is happy.
I'm pretty sure that you've seen men with such turbans yourself, but it might come as a surprise that they are not Hindus. These turbans are a symbol of Sikhism. But with about 25 million followers, Sikhism isn't really a major religion. And so we moved deeper into this country, where we found the world's third biggest faith. Hinduism is considered to be the oldest, still practiced religion in the world. And compared to Christianity and Islam, it sure feels different. Most of Hindu traditions are still in sync with nature. For example, Holi, the celebration of life and colors on the first full moon of the spring.
It all happened so fast. We got out of the bus and it took a minute and we ended up like this.
Or Diwali, the festival of lights. But even greater are the differences in divine beings. And instead of one all-powerful God, Hindus worship hundreds of godlike beings. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some even display features from certain animals, resulting in perhaps some of the most unique temples you can find on our planet. And this here is Hanuman Temple, the famous monkey temple. And you see why and where it gets its name. This religion felt like nothing we have ever seen before. So even greater was our surprise when we got to speak with people who practice it. Is it okay to... What is it for? What would you advise them to do? In general, Hindus don't have a concept of heaven and hell, but instead they believe in reincarnation. But who or what you will be reborn in your next life is decided by your karma.
Everyone is not bad, not good as well. So it depends upon people to people.
Yet, how to get better karma, you may ask?
They love you, they try to talk to you, they try to take pictures with you, they try to give you food.
Well, of course by living a kind, peaceful and loving life. Hearing this hit us like a ton of bricks. We had spent a huge chunk of our lives living in distant lands, and the only definite thing we had learned so far was that it really doesn't matter if you believe in 1 or 100 gods, because you should be good just as long as you remain a decent human being. But there was still one thought we hadn't explored. The idea that maybe there is no God. And no, I don't mean it in the atheistic sense, but much more like the teachings of the world's 4th largest religion. Yet learning about the biggest godless religion turned out to be harder than we anticipated.
This morning, Liisu just started crying in the bed. She had had enough. Her nerves broke.
We first had to leave behind all of our earthly belongings, and even our egos, to attend a Buddhist meditation camp. These will be the last words for the next 10 days, as we're gonna go to a Vipassana silent meditation. This religion is based on the teachings of one enlightened man that we now know as Buddha. The time passed slowly, and turns out that looking deep within ourselves for 10 long days was clearly difficult. But if high school had taught us anything, then it was the fact that simply attending the class isn't enough to understand the subject. And so after the camp, we knew that we also had to see those practices in action. And mostly because we simply didn't believe that places operating by such unrealistic teachings can actually exist.
Anxious and nervous, a little bit, I'm not sure I can do it.
We left our car behind. And what followed was days of climbing up and up and up. Until finally, there they were. Ancient Buddhist villages hidden between the mountains.
No car roads, just people living their lives up here.
The beauty and tranquility of those places is hard to put in words. We saw their wooden temples, heard thousands of prayer flags flapping in the wind, and of course spun around hundreds of prayer wheels that on every turn are supposed to send the good wishes written on them into the universe. It really felt strange that such places still exist, and the reason why we first did not want to believe that they were real was quite simple. Buddhism teaches you never to kill, always turn the other cheek, and of course to love thy neighbor. It just didn't make a lot of sense that such utterly peaceful faith could survive 2,500 years in a world full of violence. But still here they stood, high in the mountains, away from the grip of any ruler or conqueror. But standing there in those mountains marked a strange point of our lives. We had spent years living among foreign people, at times disregarded our own morals in pursuit of the so-called truth. And what we had seemingly learned was pretty much what every half-decent parent teaches their 4-year-old kid. Treat others in a manner that you wish them to treat you. But what we didn't yet understand was that accomplishing our goal only marked the halfway point in the whole journey. And in the months that followed, we started noticing small things that were sort of different. For example, ever since the camp Liisu still held true to her meditation practice, which in turn brings balance to her mind and helps combat her anxiety. Or when we arrived back home, how we realized that when we now see a foreigner in our country, no longer do we stay away like so common to most Europeans, but instead we offer our help because we know exactly how amazing it feels to be accepted in a foreign land. But perhaps most importantly, we have started realizing how religion is actually used in our society. Our quest had clearly proved one thing, that all major religions practiced today are teachings of peace and love that often help people overcome the hardships of their lives. Yet in our everyday media and culture, it seems to be used by greedy and manipulative people who use it to achieve their personal goals. Take radical Islamic groups and terrorism, KKK and racism, or the cow vigilantes of India that by night murder Muslim families who they think have been eating beef. There's 1,000 other radical groups and people I could name, but one thing they all have in common is how they use religion to justify their unspeakable acts and to rally others behind their twisted cause.
Groups like ISIL and Al-Qaeda, they want to claim that they are the true leaders of over 1 billion Muslims around the world who reject their crazy notions. That's their propaganda. That's how they recruit.
A few years ago, in the light of such things, I would have thought that religion is a curse, forever causing conflicts between people. And I would have probably thanked the God himself for making me an atheist. But now, more clearly than ever, I see that such people and deeds like war and violence have nothing to do with any religion. They serve but their own egocentric goals. And if a journalist, politician, or even the Pope himself tries to tell me otherwise, I just stop and ask myself, what's the real reason for this person wanting to cause fear and hatred in my heart? Friends, thank you for watching, and as a last thing, we finally have an answer to all of you who have been wondering if you can ever get your hands on physical products with our names on it. Well, probably not. You see, it just hasn't been a goal to order 100 hoodies from China and slap our logo on it. Yet instead, we decided to work together with some of our favorite brands. And so if you're looking for travel gear that you can truly trust and rely on, then go ahead and follow the link to our webpage that you can find in the description of this video. Friends, take care, and we'll see you back on the channel next Thursday in a little bit less than a week. Bye.